Hello wonderful people, today we're gonna be looking at my GANK SPANK build at last. I couldn't wait to share it with you guys. And there's so many different types of ganks, so many different types of GANK SPANKs. However, with time, through Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, it never changed. The objective is the same. Kill all of them. All of them, not even the host. Kill them all. In this video, I'm gonna show you a build that's very reliable against gankers. Gankers comes in all different shapes and forms. I'll talk about them in a bit. Of course, not all ganks are equal. However, they are one of the most fun you'll have in the game. They will test your skill, challenge you to the most, and it's an honor of, it's a badge of honor when you beat like 4 people by yourself. It feels fantastic. It's like all the work, all the play that you played the game, all the things you put is for that moment. Let's look at the motherfucking build, shall we? So here is the build, take a look at it, I'll explain it in more details as we go on, but I just knew it, when I started the game, when I understood the mechanics, I knew about hyper armor, I just knew there's no way around it. The best way to gank spank is with a strength weapon. Strength weapons are beast in this game, and how damage works and all this, strength weapons are just the best in terms of damage, because split damage weapons means weapons are infused. They have like fire damage, magic damage with physical. In general, they are crap. In general. However, there are exceptions like the Apparu Greatsword or Ultra Greatsword, whatever that is, because it gives you S scaling and magic. So how it works is the armor is very weird here. It's not like the more armor you have, the more you defend, or it's not proportionate. Like, I don't know how to describe it. At some threshold with your damage, when your weapon is, very high damage and doing pure damage in one stat, like physical, in strength weapons, you just wreck people. And the objective when gank spanking is killing people as fast as possible. What does that entail? Fucking backstabbing them in one shot, parrying them, then riposting them in one shot. Spell spamming like in Dark Souls 2 where you one-shot them with the soul spear. So you want to kill them as fast as possible. Why is that? Because it's just not realistic to go against 4 all at the same time. So you have to kill them one by one. But there's a new thing in Dark Souls 3 that actually can make you to go 1 against 4 with ease. And that is hyper armor. Hyper armor, guys. Hyper armor is life. Hyper armor is everything in this game. It took the place of poise like all the way. I like it, but it does have its disadvantages, like fast weapons being very rewarded, and there's no way to punish them with poise. Like straight swords, like the freaking dark sword, man. Like 9 out of 10 people I play against are using that freaking weapon, and because it's easy. However, it's not good when you're facing 3 or it's good of course, but when facing 3 or 4 people, you want to wreck them, and I mean wreck them hard, as they say, like very hard. And that's what strength weapons do. So I look at the strength weapons, I knew that the Black Knight Great Axe is really good and it does the job. However, the stamina consumption on it is just crazy, and the moveset is very slow. So I looked at the Fume Ultra Greatsword. I knew that's gonna be the weapon. First, the range. The range is insane, as you can see. It's just not freaking realistic. And in case you don't know, this weapon is a comeback from Dark Souls 2. It used to be wielded by the Fume Knight, who statistically is the most difficult boss in Dark Souls 2. Not in my opinion, that's a fact. He just killed more people than any other boss, so he's a badass. However, there's the only quirky thing, what made it so special in Dark Souls 2, it's not back here, and that is it used to block and hit at the same time. It doesn't do that here. However, I do like it more here because the damage is just insane, and vitality is like, it's not punishing, Although in Dark Souls 2 it wasn't that punishing, but still here you can, wear whatever you want with ease. Although I have a lot of vitality, I think you don't need that much. You can go lower if you want lower armor. I'm using a heavy shield. I'm using it because I upgraded it and didn't want it to go for waste, because twinkling titanite, the silver shield. So yes, and let's talk more about the build now. So the most important thing in your build is Hornet Ring, which I'm gonna be doing a video soon about. Hornet Ring increases your critical damage for both backstabs and riposts, and any critical hit for that matter, even guard breaks. And it is basically a one-shot kill. Sometimes people survive a backstab. I never seen anybody survive a guard break or a what's it called, or a riposte. But the point here is Hornet Ring is a must, because you want to be aiming of getting these backstabs and these riposts for one-shotting them, just one-shot them there. And the Fume Ultra Greatsword with its strength, it just has a lot of stamina damage. That means people who try to block you are gonna get fucked, because usually they get guard broken. That means a free riposte, which means one-shot kill. Another thing is the Ring of Favor. I use it everywhere. Ring of Favor +2. Of course, there's +1 and there's a normal version. The difference between the normal version and +2 is just not that worth it. So just use that, because why not have more stamina, HP, and equip load? It's just great. Another thing is the Chloranthe Ring. Chloranthe Ring is one of the best rings since Dark Souls 2. It's been in Dark Souls 1, but the problem with Dark Souls 1, you only had 2 ring slots. So, and there were many better rings than it, but having more stamina consumption is everything, because it translates to you, meaning you can dodge more, you can hit more, and that's what you're going to be needing, especially that this is strength weapon. Although it doesn't consume insane amount of stamina like the Black Knight Great Axe, but it still consumes a lot of stamina, so you do want that Chloranthe Ring. The other third ring, which I think it's one of the most important, is the Obscuring Ring, which I also talk about in one of my videos. You can switch it on the fly. I usually, when I first start, I equip it. I just take a look at from far away, how's the situation, and then if I want to, engage, I just engage and I take it off. You have to get used to going in the menu and changing your rings, because you can put like something else that will benefit you more, like the Havel Ring or anything else. But in general, Hornet Ring all the way. But then you will ask me, what if I don't get the backstab or riposte? It's not, a guaranteed thing. That's a very good point, actually, because you don't want to rely on that. Like, saying that is not enough. Just doing backstabs and riposte. It's just, no matter how good you are, they're just not reliable 100%. You cannot just do them at will. Like, Dark Souls 1 backstabber spam, like we saw Dark Souls 1. But so you cannot force a backstab or even a parry, although parrying is the easiest we've ever seen before. But so what should I do? PvPSkillz, you ask. Use hyper armor, my bro or sis. Just use the hyper armor. What that means? Just before they attack you, press the R1. There's no way you're gonna get stunned. No way, no way. They're gonna trade with you, and trading with the Fume Ultra Greatsword is a not good idea. Now, if 3 of them are coming at you, use the one-handed attack, because it's a horizontal one. And you do get 2 guaranteed. Trust me, this weapon is beast. Just you have to get used to the timing. So you have to be precise when you're gonna initiate the attack, because you can always trade with this weapon. And that's also one of the disadvantages of the hyper armor, is they make strength weapons extremely strong. Like, I think stronger than I would like, because with fast weapon users, they don't have much to do against you, really, if they have no spells when you trade. The only thing they have is, having that dark sword, which can do a lot of damage. But other than that, they just cannot win on trades. They just cannot. And you have a backstab riposte advantage. That means they will be scared shitless, man. And another thing about this weapon that I adore is the thrust attacks. The rolling attack, thrust attack is just insane. The R2 is insane. It's the thrust attack when two-handed, you can charge it. And I cannot even imagine what happens if you equip the Leo ring and get a counter on it. I did not try it yet, but the damage on it is insane. And with charging attacks, man, one-on-one is just terrific. But I didn't show the one-on-one, but this weapon is one of my favorite. My favorite weapon, just to let it, to be honest, is the Twin Princess Greatsword. I've been using it recently. It's just badass, I love that weapon. Of course, I did not try all of them, but that's my favorite weapon for now. Now, let's talk about the nature of ganking. So you're gonna tell me, PvPSkillz, there's a lot of these people who are co-oping. That's true. There's a lot of different ganks, and let me tell you the more, common ones. The first one you'll find is people co-oping, which is, expected. They just want to play through the game. The host got people to help him, either be his friends or random people. But usually they're gonna protect the host with all their, with all they have, and that's, honorable for them to do. I know, but you're the invader, man. You're the dickhead, so you have to kill them all, as we said before. But these kind of ganks are very fun. They're my favorite, to be honest. I know they want to go through the game. I might be, or I might be an annoyance, but it's really fun because they just playing the game. Then there are other malicious gankers. And those are people who summon whites and just wait there, and they are fully loaded. They have the best stuff. Usually if you find like 3 dark sword users or 4 dark sword users, katanas, dragon slayer, hammer, all these, you know, common super weapons, they all using together. You find 1 spellcasters between them. So these are the malicious ones. All of them are equal in my eyes. I just invade, and whatever happens, happens. But when the most malicious gankers are the ones who summon you through a red sign, that's very, you know, known. But what's the difference between Dark Souls 2 and 3? And that's a huge difference, and for the better, in my opinion. Not just, I think it's a fact. And that is, in Dark Souls 2, when you used to invade, I don't even have one memory of another red invader coming to help me. So in Dark Souls 2, basically it's you against the world. But in Dark Souls 3, usually, more like all the time usually, more invaders come for your aid, and the dynamic is so fun. Wow, man, the fun I am having with this game is just so much, because the unpredictable factor of, you know, what's gonna happen is very high. You know, you can invade like 4 people, somebody comes helps you, you kill like 2, then your friend dies, and then somebody else comes help, and it becomes a really fun experience, and you cannot fight the same fight twice. So yeah, in general, it's really fun. Now another tip is, every white phantom or every red phantom that dies, you gain 1 flask, either be the Ashen Flask or the Estus Flask, both of them refill. If you kill a blue, you actually get 2, because they're annoying. I think it's worth it to get 2 after killing a blue. And so you have to keep that in mind. Since you have 7, that's the most you can have, unless you're a spellcaster. Now there's another build that is equally as good as this one when it comes to gank spanks, and actually I gank spank more with that build, but I will share it with my pyromancer build, and it's basically a pyromancer build, and it needs no weapon, literally. And people say that spells are not viable. But sorcery, on the other hand, it's not good for gank spanks. It's good in one-on-one. I'll be sharing that build soon. It's very cool. I actually did 3 different sorcery builds that I'm going to be sharing soon. There's a lot of videos that I'm going to be releasing, and the thing is, I play more than I edit, so I have so many things. So basically, just to keep you on the loop, the things to expect later on is the Hornet Ring guide with the other ring that negates backstabs. They're going to be both in the same video. It's not worth a ring, but I'm still going to talk about it in that video. And of course the Warden swords, I've done this, it was my 3rd build, but because it's not a boss weapon, I didn't still do a weapon review for it, but I'm gonna do it. It's still very cool. It's a luck bleed build. It's really fun, I really liked it, but I played with it more one-on-one. It's not a gank spank build. And after that, expect the Sorcerer build, which will have 3 versions, and then the Pyromancer build, which has 1 version, and then you'll get the Twin Princess Greatsword review, and what else is there? So yeah, basically that's it, and I think there's 2 montages that are gonna be, you know, in between. Now, let me talk more about the experience of the game. For me, Dark Souls 3 is still a new game. For example, I still don't know where is the Thorn armor. I have no idea where it is. I saw many people wearing it. I have no idea where it is. I just recently found the Leo ring. I missed that door somehow in Erythil, I don't know how. And the small hammer was right next to it. Also, there's a spell also in this area in Erythil I did not find. So for me, it's a new game. I'm not looking online yet. I'm starting to look online, to be honest, because there's some lore things that I just couldn't know unless I read, you know, external sources. And, you know, that's how the game is made. There's a community around it. That's why I love it. I love it. But in general, it's a new game. And why is that good for Dark Souls players, I think, and people who frequent to this channel? That means I'll be doing videos for at least 1 year. That's how I can see it. Until, you know, the next game comes out, whatever it will be. But I'm sure I'm going to be playing Dark Souls 3 for a long time. And they still do 2 DLCs. And I think the PvP in this game is the best we've seen. And it's the best PvP in my opinion. So I put Dark Souls 3. So yeah, let me tell you my favorite PvP games until now. And I would like you to share yours in the comments. For me, it's Dark Souls 3, number 1. Comes very close after that, Dark Souls 2. But I like 3 because, I don't know, I just like it much more. There's more people playing it, I think maybe that's why. The invasions are much more fun with people coming to help you. It's a big deal, to be honest. And the maps and the areas are much nicer to play with. And I just love Dark Souls 3 the most. Then Dark Souls 2. Then comes Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne. I like them maybe equally, maybe more a bit Dark Souls 1, because to be honest, I loved it more in general. And then at the end, Bloodborne. Demon Souls, I never PvP'd in it, so I like properly, so I won't give an opinion on that. But yeah, I would love to know yours. Now when it comes to PvE, let me tell you my favorites. Bloodborne will be my number 1. It's still unbeaten. Dark Souls 3 comes after that very closely. Now here I'm just being objective in my opinion, but if I want to mix nostalgic aspects, I'll put Dark Souls 1 always on top, because for me it's everything that started everything, and I played it I think the most, maybe not, I don't know, but I played it a lot. I played a lot Dark Souls 1, so let's forget the nostalgic aspect, just being objective how complete the game is, because we cannot forget Dark Souls 1. After half of the first half, there's some areas that seem unfinished, and there's many things that didn't work properly in it. So yeah, I would say Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne number 1. Dark Souls 3 very closely number 2, and then after that comes Dark Souls 1, and then comes Demon Souls, Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2 equal. Dark Souls PvE, I don't like it. I don't know why. I just don't. Especially after I played Dark Souls 3, I just appreciated Miyazaki games. Dark Souls 2 PvE was in general crap. Sorry to say. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I played it a lot. But it wasn't just as good as this or Bloodborne, not even close, or even Dark Souls 1. The bosses, there were some good bosses, but still not even as good as in this or Bloodborne. Bosses are king. Bloodborne is king when it comes to bosses. So what other tips I can give on this weapon? Yeah, have a fast weapon with you, by the way. It's very important to have a fast weapon to finish off your opponent, because the Fume Ultra Greatsword, no matter how much you like it, it's still a slow weapon. Although the running attacks are really good to catching people while healing, but I still think you need a fast one, and with a exclusively strength build like this one, I have no dexterity, you're gonna be using one of the axes. They don't do that much damage, but they do the job. Definitely they can do the job. So guys, I don't think I can add anything to this build. It's what you see, and this video, it's more of me rambling. It's not scripted, and I love to share my opinions. I don't want to make all my videos be heavily edited. I want to share my opinions, and sometimes you cannot do it, in a scripted, edited video. And in this video, I can do it. And I just like sharing my opinions, I guess. So, yes, guys, just take it easy on the gankers. I know a lot of gank spankers watch my videos, because I used to do a lot of these videos back in Dark Souls 2. So I hope you enjoyed. Take it easy, brothers and sisters. And I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.